Hello everybody, welcome back to Console Conversations, and we've been gone since October, so it's been a long time, but now Season 4 is officially back, and we're doing something that we haven't done since Season 2, which is live-action Console Conversations with the co-host in the same room, and I'm doing this with Panic, who also did the last 3 episodes with me, but that was over an internet connection, like most of these episodes have been. But now we're finally ready to discuss our favorite winter-themed levels with each other in real life. So this is going to be pretty epic Poggers gamer moment. So, I'm going to pull up my favorite winter-themed levels in video games. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, and if you'd like to do the same, you can...
Unlike Walter the Germany Ball, I come prepared. I have mine memorized.
Oh, alright, I see. You're better than me, okay. So I'm going to start off with my number 5. These are in no particular order for me. I don't know if you did them in an order of how much you like them.
No, I just picked 5.
So these are in no particular order. So I'm going to start off. My number 5 is New York City in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, this isn't technically a level, this is an open world map, but the whole map of Miles Morales is based off the map of Spider-Man PS4, but there's a ton of new stuff added to it, most notably snow. Snow everywhere, and it's beautiful, and it's crisp, and it really looks nice on the new hardware of the PS5. It's just a really nice world to explore, and it fits well with the story because it takes place right around Christmas, and I really like the aesthetic of the snow. So yeah, so you can go ahead with 5 now.
Sure. So my first pick is going to be Cultist Base from Doom Eternal. This takes place in sort of an Antarctica type region. Everything's frozen over, there's lots of ice and snow everywhere. Obviously you're inside the buildings for most of it, but it still counts in my opinion. It's probably got the best song on the entire soundtrack, that killer guitar in the background, just very heavy mixing on everything. Mick Gordon does an excellent job as always. The actual design of the level itself is great. It introduces a lot of my favorite demons as well. You've got plenty of great arenas as well, and you have the final boss fight with the Doom Hunter, who is probably one of the coolest enemies in that game in my opinion. I love how hard he is the first time you fight him, and then as you get better at the game, you just learn to melt him down super quick, and then he's not even a challenge for you anymore. So overall, I think it's sick. The only part of it that's bad is the Revenant part, where they prep you for battle mode, but whatever. It's 30 seconds of shooting things. You get the super shotgun from it too, which is one of my favorite weapons in that game, so in my opinion, pretty excellent level.
Alright, and I'm going to move ahead now to my number 4, which is from a game that actually came out just this year. Cordelian from Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Now, this isn't a completely snow-themed level, because once you go inside, the whole dimensional merging thing really messes with it, but when you first arrive, it's this cold, dead winter level, and it's not like anything else in the rest of Rift Apart. It really sets it apart from everything else in the game, and it looks just really nice, even though it's meant to be creepy. I just like the look of it, and it's very unsettling, like something's coming, and that's exactly what happens, because that level ends up being pretty creepy for a Ratchet & Clank game. So, yeah, you can go ahead now.
Cool. So my second pick is going to be Freeze Flame Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy 1. I have this very specific memory when I was a kid, first playing that game, of reaching the part, because you start off on this little ring of ice, and you have to chase a little penguin around, and then once you catch him, the launch star shows up, and just taking that and flying into this giant core of fire, and then the second half of it being ice, the combination of those two is really visually interesting to me. Again, it has great music. It actually has a split track, so when you're in the ice level, it's got more of like a chill, kind of slower vibe song with some some xylophones added in there, and then when you go to the fire part, it becomes more like deserty and more like fire level, stereotypical fire level music. I love the skating mechanics in Super Mario Galaxy. I think it's awesome. Plus, the fact that Mario can skate without, like, actual blades is super cool. All the platforming is awesome. Every star is interesting. It's not one of the lamer galaxies, in my opinion. And it's got a lot of cool star-specific mechanics, too, like the turntables that change the water levels in the ice area, or having to wait for specific platforms to show up from the lava. So yeah, I think it's just a cool level overall.
Yeah. So, my number 3 is next, and it's Shiveria Town from Super Mario Odyssey, a game that I'm going to be putting out my review of tomorrow, actually. And it's a really interesting level because you have these cute little abominable snowmen type things, and you can become one of them and then compete in their race. It's really a weird level, not a typical snow level, except for the first part where it's kind of creepy, actually, kind of like Cordelian, where it's kind of just dead and foggy everywhere. But it's a really interesting and fun level, even though it's one of the less memorable kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, so for my third pick, it's going to be Cliffhanger from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Any Call of Duty fans in the audience, or basically anybody who's played video games, is probably going to know which level I'm talking about. One of the coolest Call of Duty levels, in my opinion. It's got some of the best set pieces with actually climbing up the side of a frozen mountain using ice picks, to the amazing snowmobile chase at the end of the level with that great soundtrack by Hans Zimmer, you know, pushing you forward. Stealth mechanics are great. The tension and the pacing is actually excellent. Something that doesn't really get talked about much in video games is pacing. And when it finally builds up to that climax and that final chase scene happens, you really feel the tension. It's one of the best moments Call of Duty has ever done, in my opinion, and it's one of the highlights of games, really. So yeah.
It really makes you feel like you're going to war.
Makes you feel like you're Call of Duty.
Exactly, yeah. And then my number 2 is Freezy Peak from Banjo-Kazooie. Now, this is one of the all-time classic snow winter levels. Like, whenever I think of winter levels, this is probably the first one that comes to mind. And it's an excellent level. You know, these evil snowmen that throw stuff at you. You turn into a frickin' walrus. There are these polar bear kids, and you have to find their dad, and he's like this fat polar bear, and I think you, like, ground pound on his stomach to get one of the jiggies. It's genius, okay? You have to stop, like, these evil Christmas lights or something. I don't remember it perfectly, but the last time I played Banjo-Kazooie, I remember it being one of the highlights of a game where every level is already excellent. So, if that doesn't tell you how much I love that level, then I don't know what will, because it is just one of the best parts of that game, and that game is one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, so for my whatever spot, I guess my next pick, it's going to be Frozen Elium Lois from Dark Souls 2. So Dark Souls 2, a lot of people do not like it. I am a huge fan of Dark Souls 2. It is, in fact, my favorite Dark Souls game. I will fight you if you say it's bad. But in Frozen Elium Lois, in my opinion, is kind of the perfect encapsulation of why Dark Souls 2 is good. The DLC for that game is great, but Frozen Elium Lois is probably the best one, in my opinion. Because you start out similarly to the Super Mario Odyssey level that Walter mentioned, with, you know, everything's fogged over, and you kind of have to trudge your way through, and enemies are hidden in the fog. And then once you get far enough in, you clear the fog out, and you can, you know, start seeing everything and discovering all these secrets. And all of it culminates in one of the best boss fights in that game, and probably one of the best boss fights in the Souls series, with the Burnt Ivory King. So, yeah, overall, excellent level. Great design, great backtracking, great secrets, everything you want in a Dark Souls area, all wrapped up into one.
Yeah. And just to, this isn't a level, but talking about best bosses, there's one winter-themed boss I love, Mr. Freeze from Batman Arkham City. That's the one. But then my number 1, my last pick for this list, is going to go to the mountain chapters from Uncharted 2. Now, you start off hanging off of a train that is dangling over a mountain You have to climb up this just completely destroyed train. Then you trudge through this horrible tundra with these guys shooting at you. You're on your last legs. And that's what I love about most of Uncharted 2. You always feel like you're beaten down until the very end when you finally manage to rise back up and win. And it's a game about really testing how far you can go without being overly difficult. It's probably the most fair and balanced of the Uncharted games, though I don't really have an opinion on Uncharted 4 because I played it in this weird way that makes me not really have opinions on it. I don't know. But Uncharted 2, amazing game, but the mountain levels are phenomenal, especially the part where you go into that weird mountain, like, ice glacier type place. I don't really remember it perfectly, but there's this monster there, and you find the corpses of all these Nazis that went there and tried to find the treasure, and you use their weapons against this weird monster thing. It's phenomenal. It's very unique. Yeah, thumbs up. Really good.
Cool. And then my last pick is similar to your first pick in that it is a section of an open world. It's going to be the Hedra Mountains in Breath of the Wild. It's the snow area. It's where you find Rivali. I almost called him Rathalos. Rivali. And I like him as a character. I think he's interesting. I really like that divine beast, and I think the challenge that you have to do to get him to work for you is also genuinely challenging, which is surprising for Nintendo of all people. As well as really sick, because the whole, time slow mechanic with the bow in midair is just awesome. Really appeals to me. But overall, it's a beautiful area. You get one of the coolest looking armor sets as well for protection against the cold. And I love to, use the shield slide mechanic to go down the hills and do all that kind of fun stuff. So overall, I think it's just a really beautiful, well-designed area with lots of places to climb, explore, and platform. And it has some of the better combat challenges, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the best. So, yeah, so that's going to do it for the Console Conversations Holiday Special 2021. I believe this is episode 13 of Season 4. We're going to be coming back. We're going to have some more episodes. The next one is going to be a collab that's going to be talking about what we want to see in Spider-Man 2, which got announced in September. So, hope you're looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Mario Odyssey review will be out tomorrow. Thank you, Panic, for joining me. Be safe, everyone, and goodbye.